All right, Fury Warrior is back, so get ready to shout and spin your way up the meters with this guide covering your talents, rotation, gear, and consumables. All right, so let's get into the talents. Here we have the general tree differences between single target and multi target. For the single target fights, we will be using Champion Spear, and Avatar is going to cast Recklessness alongside of it to increase your rage generation. For dungeon and multi target focused builds, we're going to have Thunderous Roar to get massive AoE damage, along with Avatar casting Odin's Fury. All right, now let's get on to the spec trees. These builds focus on Reckless Abandon. This means that everything is going to be centered around your 1 minute 30-second cooldowns. For these single target boss focus fights, you'll be using Onslaught, and you won't be able to cleave at all with Whirlwind. So make sure you have uptime on that one fight, and only use this build if it's a case of one target. Now, multi-target is where Fury Warrior is really shining. You get to use Odin's Fury in this fight, and yes, Whirlwind will be available to cleave onto everything else. The bleeds that spread out to the mobs is what will really help get that out there, though, along with the Blade Storm. Now, luckily for Fury Warriors with Slayer, we don't really have to make many changes to our hero talents. The only exception is when you do the raid multi-target and you want to focus on the boss, in which case we substitute Culling Cyclone for Brutal Finish. Okay, now let's get into the opener, which everyone wants to see. For our single target opener, we're going to first use Recklessness, then Charge to allow us to get some extra rage. We cast Avatar, Rampage, Champion Spear, Blade Storm, Rampage. When it comes to priority, our Enrage is at the top of the list with either Rampage or Onslaught. After that, we've got Crushing, Raging Blow, Bloodbath, Execute, Whirlwind. Whirlwind is on the lowest because it doesn't really help us. It's just a filler if everything else is on cooldown. Our multi-target rotation is similar, where we open with Recklessness, Charge, and Avatar. But once we reach the enemies, we use Thunderous Roar and Blade Storm. And once that is finished, we use our 4 charges of Whirlwind. And then I prefer to do Odin's Fury here, so that we can get it on cooldown and still benefit from the additional Avatar chop time. Our priority remains similar to the single target rotation. However, in multi-target situations, Whirlwind is your number one ability to use if you have no charges left. Other than that, we also use Odin's Fury on cooldown, or you can line it up with your Blade Storms to help give it that extra boost from the Avatar. Okay, now we are into the gear and stats section. First and foremost, I'm going to say that it is very important to sim yourself before deciding what is an upgrade and what isn't, as it will be different based on your current equipment. However, as a general rule, we are able to use item level to start with. Once we reach the item level for the pieces, we can then focus on the secondary stats. Those being first, Mastery, Haste, and Verse and Crit. Those will be the stats you'll want to go for. Now, for specific gear that I can advise you to get, I recommend the Arakara Sack Brood Trinket, as well as the Skarmorak Shard Trinket. Both of these match very well with Fury Warrior's timings, as Skarmorak is on a 1 minute 30-second cooldown. A third trinket that I recommend once the first season of The War Within begins is the Mark of Cardros. Once scaled up, it is estimated to be stronger than the Skarmorak Shard. And finally, on to the consumables. I recommend majority of enchants going towards main stat and avoidance, while the rings being mastery. This will also apply to the food, as I recommend either the Flask of Tempered Mastery or the Flask of Alchemical Chaos. And also make sure to maintain healing potions on your person and gems as well, mastery or haste, to make things run as smoothly as possible. Wowhead contains a very detailed list of consumables that are good for Fury Warrior, and I'll link that in the description below. And lastly, if you found this guide helpful and want to help grow the channel, please like, comment, and subscribe below. I also stream on Twitch nearly every day on WoW Progress, in dungeons, raids, and more. Thanks for watching and have a great day.